Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 10 of the March Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me in Discord, let me know what you think. As you can see, I got a haircut. In fact, I got all of them cut. Okay, anyway, today's problem is add two numbers, which is it another linked list? Are they doing like some kind of weird linked list week or something? At least they're trying a little bit, I guess. Okay, so you're given two linked lists, reverse order. What does reverse order mean? What does 2, 4, 3 means? 2, 4, okay. So that means that the most significant digit is last. So you can just do them one by one and okay. So we don't have to do anything weird. I think we just do it one by one and make sure you do the carry. And I think that should be good. In this case, I would not do it in place because I don't think that makes sense, but I could be wrong. Maybe you can make an argument there. So yeah, okay. So let's just say new head is equal to this node of 0. Doesn't matter. I mean -1, say. And then now we go. Okay. So let's just say we have a pointer 1 is equal to L1, pointer 2 is equal to L2, and then while P1 is not none and P2 is not none, then we go. Okay, what do we do, right? Then we go, okay, so we create a new node, p1.value plus p2.value. We create a new list node with that value. So yeah, let's just say current is equal to this thing. And then we go, maybe we have sum end. Is that, what am I thinking of? I don't know if that's the right word, but okay. Let's just write total is equal to new head. Total tail maybe, but it's fine. So then now total.next is equal to current, total is equal to total.next. So that should be good, assuming they're the same length. Of course, they're not going to be the same length, and you're going to get, oh, this is not good actually. My bad. I forgot to carry. I talked about it briefly, but yeah, but I did not. So carry is equal to 0. This is plus carry. Or maybe let's just do something like v is equal to if v is greater than 10, carry is equal to v or maybe I could just do this and then we multiply by 10 and then we just do v now. Okay, so this should be good if they're the same length now that we handle carry. Of course, they're not always the same length, so we just have to take care of it. So while P1 is not none, we have to make sure that we do the same thing. Well, let's just say v is equal to p1.value plus carry. Carry is equal to v. I mean, and of course, in this case, this is base 10 and stuff like that, so you can be more specific because you can kind of make sure your bounds are the same way. But I like writing it this way. So yeah. And then maybe this part we can maybe this part we can make into a function because we're going to write the same thing for P2, right? So definitely get and maybe P, something like that, and then you just Also, I messed something up in the first one and this one. So if you go out, you may have noticed I was wrong. So yeah, you have to move the pointer, obviously. And here as well. And this is way more code than I expected. But yeah, so just get n for P1 and get n for P2. And then now we return new head.next. I think this should be good. And because there's addition, we don't have to worry about leading zeros and something like that. So I think we're good. We might have to check this case. I think that particular case may be okay. I don't know. We should be okay actually, but we'll see if that's actually true. Ooh, no. That's actually interesting. We do want to keep the carry here, so we just have to declare it. Huh. Man, I'm been really bad as well. But I think this one we could pass in the n, because this one it makes more sense to do so. Yeah, a little bit sloppiness on my part, but that's why you run the code. I mean, it's not often that you get it right the first time. But it's I knew about this case, but I forgot. But yeah, so then now while carry is greater than 0, v is equal to carry. I mean, I'm just trying to keep the code consistent with before, but that's pretty much what I'm doing. Current is equal to this node of v, total dot next is equal to current, total is equal to total dot next, and of course here we do carry my 10, right? I guess technically this already does it. Well, technically and actually, so we should be good here. This is actually more code than I anticipated, and still be wrong. Oh, huh. I think that's what I get for making this decision actually. So what's happening is that we pass in the total by value and not by reference, and that's really the issue here. Wow, very sloppy on my hand, but I think I just try to rush it a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, this is why we practice. Yeah. And I would also say if you are kind of happy or slightly impressed on how I kind of debug this very quickly, well, we'll see if I get it right first. Okay, I want to confirm that. But as I said yesterday as well, right, is that practice and practice. You know, when you do a lot of problems, you know, part of practicing is solving the problem, right? But it's not every time that you're going to get it right on the first try. I mean, some people do, or some people look like they do, and some people do. But at least for me, there's a lot of mistakes happening, right? And from that, though, you know, you try to figure out how. There are two things, right? One is that you learn to figure out what you are bad at, maybe, or like just like sometimes, at least for me, I feel like I make the same mistakes a lot. So that's why I'm able to kind of identify these things. I'm like, oh yeah. Second is kind of just thinking about through the behavior of what you expect. Like it's not. Sometimes it's not just that you get a wrong answer, but getting a wrong answer in which way will allow you to figure out how to debug it and how to figure out how to go, right? For example, in my case, if you kind of remember it a little bit, I mean, I don't really know how to show it, I guess, but I saw that my output, my expected answer, I chop off the zeros. Well, the first one was just no leading. I didn't carry the 1 all the way through, so I was like, oh yeah, I didn't carry the 1 all the way through, so I just put in the carry. And then the second one was, I was like, oh yeah, it got chopped off early, and I knew that because of pointer arithmetic. And this is just a little bit lucky on my end in that the test case does do that. Sometimes you have to give a submit, you get a wrong answer, and you see why. But I saw that I was not carrying the 0. That means that the reference was not being updated correctly all the way to the last one. So then I was like, oh, okay. So then now I just do I knew that I was passing things by value and not updating the thing globally, which is why when I got to here. That's pretty much the idea. I mean, of course, I kind of sped through that part, and practicing a lot, not just on problem solving, but on debugging will help you get better at it. I think one thing that happens on my Discord channel, and that's fine per se, is that people often ask why they get wrong answer in certain things, and sometimes it is very minor, and you know, I'm happy to help whenever I could spot it very easily, or when I'm, you know, on my laptop and on my phone or something like that. But I would also say that like part of that discovery is figuring out, you know, what kind of mistakes you're likely to make and stuff like that. And I would also say that like very often, if I'm able to look at your code and spot the bug very quickly, it usually just means that I've done that mistake like many times before. It doesn't mean I have magical computer skill in my head where I'm like, oh, I look at the code and I could write it in my head. No, it's just I'm like, oh, this is how I would write it, and or like this is what I say is that I consider these things like smell. And what I mean by smell is that like these are things that I have like the way that I write certain things I refined over a long period of time, not necessarily or deliberately per se, but it's still like something that I do over a long period of time. And then when I see something that deviates from it, I'm like, huh, do you have a good, I mean, you know, I mean, obviously people think differently, but when I see it in my own code, I go, do I have a good reason why I'm doing this in a funky way? And if the answer is no, then I go, then that's a little bit sus, a little suspicious, right? So that's basically the idea. And when I see other people's code, like for example, I think a recent one, even just like 20 minutes ago, was modular, a modular math, and I was like, oh, it seems like that's like if you don't mod everywhere, that's probably why. Or if you use int all over, that's probably why, instead of a 64-bit int or something like that. I would have to like prove that to be like, okay, that's actually good. But that would be the first suspicious thing that I've noticed, because that's just not, like I do certain things in a certain way, and I don't mean to suggest everyone should be like, oh, you should do it my way, voting with no explanation. But for me, just looking at my own code, I do things in a certain way because I've made these mistakes before, so that I know what to look for, kind of, I guess. Anyway, obviously not relating straightly to this problem per se, but hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully this helped you in your quest. This one is pretty straightforward, I said, as I made 2 mistakes and got lucky with the examples, but still, hopefully this is helpful. This is linear time and linear space for obvious reasons. If it's not that obvious, come to my Discord. But yeah, and you've been doing linked list problems all week, so hopefully this one wasn't that bad. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. Stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see you later. Bye bye.